Welcome to a Redvee TV Special, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2024 season. Signature move, Kevin.
Love it.
We are back, our second show in 2 days. Because we have news, Kevin, it is very, very special news indeed. Not only have we got a new captain, as announced this morning, but Jonny Lomax has extended his stay at the club until the end of the 2026 season. You would assume, Kevin, that will keep Jonny as a one-club man and he will finish his career as a Saint.
Yes. First of all, Jonny, it's at Kev Pender on Twitter. Please unblock me. Yes,
I wasn't going to mention it.
I am. Yeah, you'd imagine this is keeping him as a one-club man now. He will, whether that what will he be, 36 by the end of that contract? Just 36. Yeah, you can't see him going anywhere else. He's got a rugby brain that's second to none as well. One of them, he's been a part of the leadership group for a while as well. And I think it is the right decision. There's plenty of players that you could say would have had a shout. So you look at, say, Tommy Makinson, Matt Percival, Morgan Knowles, Alex Walmsley, Jack Wellsby even, Curtis Sirenen, arguably. There's a couple that you could throw in there, but I think everything points to it had to be Jonny, didn't it?
Yeah. I think it's just reward for a career. Obviously started in 2009. This is his 15th season pretty much. He's made 316 appearances. He'd have had a lot more, but for a couple of injuries. You would hope 316 appearances. He'll be closing in on 400 for the club by the time he finishes. And you just hear, whenever you hear, like, listen to anyone talking about Jonny Lomax, the rugby brain that he's got. It would not shock me when his career does finish if he ends up on the coaching staff or as a future coach of this club. It's great to see. There's not going to be many one-club men left in the sport anymore. And I think we're going to see the last couple of years of one of our longest stalwarts at the club.
Yeah. I think that's it. Like, he was doing the touchscreen with, I think it was John Wells at the end of a game once, and he was talking about what he was looking at and how quickly he looked at the game. And it was one of those that I think fans of all clubs, when they saw it, were just like, he needs to be on a bit more here. We need to hear more of this, more of how the, no offence to forwards, but the clever halfbacks are looking at how the game is and which way they're going to take the play. Yeah, you don't listen. You can give away the secrets, but it's difficult stopping him when it comes to him being close to the line and setting stuff up. He's been magic for us, and I think we always talk about, like, the pathways of players coming through the ranks. He's been allowed to come through the ranks, and he's played all over that back line, whether it be fullback, wing, and centre, and then 6 and 7 as well. But who better to have around the club for your young halfbacks, like your Will Roberts, your Whitbys, your people like that, than Jonny Lomax? You can learn off him something. Like, you can just pick up little bits off him. You can pick up how to like carry yourself as well. There's so much that they can take from him and glean from him. I mean, this is a man who took a referee's course earlier in his career, so he knew the rules properly and knew what he could and couldn't do. I mean, that's one of them where you see, like, the memes where it's like intelligence 100%. That is it, isn't it?
Yeah. You almost need that experience and know-how. It's almost a necessity, given what we've lost over the last couple of seasons. He is potentially the bridge from one of our most successful eras into the future of what hopefully will be our next 5 Super League trophies, 4 League Leaders Shields, a Harry Sunderland trophy, a Challenge Cup, and a World Club Challenge, and 3 occasions in Super League's Dream Team. He will finish, if he retires at the end of 2026, after doing 18 seasons at the club. Now, we thought it was like unheard of when James Roby got to 20. 18 years playing halfback at such a high level is just as big an achievement.
Yeah, it's been unreal, as you say. Like, obviously, he's been unfortunate to miss time through being injured, but still, the longevity there is another one of them unreal stats. It doesn't feel like you've been watching Jonny Lomax for, what, 15 years now? Is it 14, 15 years now? It doesn't feel like that at all. He's just been one of those players, though, who has been around, but it doesn't feel like it was 2009. Did you say, for his debut? It doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Yeah, he hasn't really aged, has he? Maybe it's because he wears the scrum cap. It's kept his looks
like a fine wine, isn't it? And you know what? He's a nice fella off the field as well. We've met up with him at a couple of forums and do's and that at Saints, and he's such a quiet, unassuming fella. Got time for a little chat with you. And so, actually, I don't need him to unblock me because I could chat with him and he's a nice bloke. But yeah, he just comes across as someone that people should be looking at, people should be looking up to. And especially if you're a young halfback, and try and take little bits off him. And even like the bits that he doesn't necessarily want to remember from his career, the injury, the times he's been out injured, sorry. How good has he been for the lads who are? And again, you mentioned young halfbacks, like Will Roberts currently out with a really bad injury. Look at Jonny Lomax. Look at how he did all his work diligently enough for him to have signed another deal and be getting up to 18 years at this club. I know people know that he's my favourite player, I'm going to say, at Saints these days. And I'm going to wax lyrical about him. But yeah, I think it's well deserved him being made captain as well.
Yeah, he still hates you though.
It's not very nice, though.
Now, Johnny's obviously spoken about wanting to hopefully lead the team out at a big occasion, whether that be Wembley, Old Trafford, or Bramley Moor in the next couple of seasons in the grand final. Is he also a really good bridge to the future? Obviously, we've got a couple of young halfbacks you've mentioned, George Whitby being one of them. It could potentially be a really good bridge into the next 10 years of a Saints halfback if things go well.
Yeah, you know, as we had it with the hookers when we had Kieran Cunningham and James Roby coming through. It could well be something along them lines where he can, as I say, they can learn everything they need to. It could well be that pathway that they're not being pushed behind someone there, they're learning from, and even in some games taking his shirt. And because he's that little bit older and he manages games and are able to manage his games because we've got players coming through. Maybe so. I'll just pick you up. As long as Bramley Moor has got good run-off areas, then fine. But if it's like Old Trafford, then you can forget it. I'll call it out as much as Old Trafford.
World-class stadiums, Kevin. World-class stadiums.
Well, Old Trafford isn't.
No. It's dilapidated.
Yes.
I think that's us done and dusted. Again.
Good. Yes, excellent.
Thank you for being available at such short notice, Kevin, to get this filmed. And we will be back tomorrow as we continue our player previews. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please, Johnny, unblock Kev.